Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bella Voce 2020, supporting the St. Petersburg Opera. That's right. Folks, let me give you a little background into exactly what you're seeing here, right? We are having our first ever virtual gala. What we are is we are a small but powerful studio audience. The studio audience is made up of the staff of St. Pete Opera. There's 3 or 4 of them around here. It's also made up of myself and the crew from DCE Productions, who are making sure that you see and hear everything crystal clear, right? Now, as we go through the program, we're going to give you some great opportunities while we are social distancing, right? There will only be 2 of us up here on the stage at any one time, and we encourage you to do the same as you go through your daily lives. Our schedule is going to run a little more than an hour, which, listen, for an opera crew, that is a short program, right? Opera guests and supporters oftentimes sit through 2- and 3-hour programs, but this one will run just a little more than 1 hour. We do want you to know that this is a fundraiser. It's an important fundraiser for the St. Petersburg Opera. So if you haven't already registered to bid, we need to make sure that you do so. All bidding this evening is going to be done right here. There's no bidder paddles. This is how you do your bidding. So if you haven't registered to bid yet, please go to bellavoce2020.ggo.com. If you're having any technical difficulties at any time, just call 727-823-2040. We will put that up a few times throughout the program this evening. So if you have any problems, you can call and get help. But understand, this is your bidder paddle. There is no other way to donate, no other way to give than registering your phone at bellavoce2020.ggo.com. The few things we'll let you know about is our silent and live auction are going to close later on in our program. We will tell you exactly when those are going to close, so sit tight for those announcements. I will tell you now that the quilts, if you're looking to buy a quilt, those are for sale through your bidding app. You need to buy those by 7:10. We're going to close that at 7:10. We will likely open it back up later on in the evening if there's any quilts left, but at 7:10, those items will leave and no longer be as part of our auction at that point. We want to thank our friends at Park Shore Grill, who provided some of the VIP dinners that were available as part of our packages to purchase for Bella Voce 2020. So to Steve Westfall and Tyson Grant, thank you so much for all you do for this community and all you do to support the St. Petersburg Opera. We also want you to know that this is a show. It's much more than just a fundraiser. You're going to see some operatic performances never before seen, not only from a talent perspective, from a technology perspective as well. So be sure to sit tight and hold on to your hats for that one, because that's certainly going to be a treat. Now, as we move on through the program, I do have a so-called co-host for this part of the program. And before I introduce our co-host, I'll do a little foreshadowing and let you know that before the end of the program tonight, we're going to have a performance by a world champion. How about that for a tease? That is a great segue, though, to introduce the man who's our world champion here, because he is our artistic and executive director. He is also the maestro here at the St. Petersburg Opera. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Sforzini. Applaud. This is where I applaud, folks. How about that, right?
Good evening, Jason. It is wonderful to be here sharing the gala stage with you tonight. And what's special about this year is we've taken Bella Voce online. And that means people before who might not have been able to come to Bella Voce can come to Bella Voce.
No doubt. And one of the taglines we're using, and you're going to hear it throughout the night, is VINCERÒ. And you're going to take time to tell us what VINCERÒ means and how it impacts our program.
I am. VINCERÒ is a line from the aria Nessun Dorma, from Puccini's Turandot, and I'm going to tell you more about that later. But it roughly translates, I will be victorious. These are difficult times, and as a performing arts organization, we have taken VINCERÒ to be our rallying cry that we will emerge victorious in the end.
I love it. I love it. And without further ado, you're now going to introduce our first bit of entertainment.
Well, all the entertainment tonight is geared towards the theme of VINCERÒ. So our first performance is by mezzo-soprano Sarah Norden. Sarah Norden was last seen here in Rigoletto as Maddalena in January. And she will be portraying the character of Isabella, singing Cruda Sorte from L'Italiana in Algiers. Her character, Isabella, the Italian girl, is traveling to Algeria to find her love, Lindoro, and she is shipwrecked. She is captured by pirates, and now the pirates are going to sell her to a harem. So she sings cruda sorte, cruel fate, but she goes on to sing that her love for Lindoro is very strong and it is worth these trials and tribulations. Now is the time for a cool head, clear thinking, and courage. She knows that she can outwit the pirates and in the end be victorious and reunited with her love, Lindoro. Please welcome Sarah Norden.
Cruda sorte, amor tirano, questo premio di mia fe. Non vorrà terror mi affanno, aria quel che avrò in me. Per te solo, o mia Lindoro, io mi trovo in periglio. Da chi spero, oddio consiglio, oddio consiglio, chi conforto mi darà. Da chi spero, oddio consiglio, chi conforto mi darà. Da chi spero, oddio consiglio, chi conforto mi Potevo disinvoltura, non più smanie né paura, di coraggio tempo adesso, or chi sono si vedrà, or chi sono si vedrà. Già so per pratica quasi all'affetto, non sguardo languido, non sospiro. Suono agli uomini come si fa, sì 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 sì, suono agli uomini come si fa, sì, suono agli uomini come si fa, tutti la bravano, tutti la chiedono, la femmina felicità, tutti la bravano, tutti la chiedono, la femmina felicità.
All right. Sarah, thank you so much. What a great way to kick off Bella Voce 2020, your first of many performances that you're going to be entertained by over the next hour. Now, it's really a three-headed monster that go into putting on the St. Petersburg Opera and Bella Voce 2020. It's the staff here with St. Petersburg Opera. It's our committee led by our committee chair, Dee Perconti, and we want to make sure we don't leave out the rest of the committee, Morella and Paul and Linda and Lind and Dorothea. They all put their heart and soul into Bella Voce 2020. And just about 6 weeks ago, they decided, you know what, we can't get together in person, we're going to do it virtually. So kudos to our committee for making it happen and making this event happen, whether it's virtual or in person, and we will be back and we will be victorious, as we're going to talk about throughout the night. But St. Petersburg Opera is also run by its board of directors, a strong group that certainly is well entrenched here in this community, and they wanted to take a moment to welcome you to Bella Voce 2020.
I began my lifelong enthusiasm for opera when my junior high school class went to see Aida at the New York Met. I'm happy to contribute my time and talents to the excellent St. Petersburg Opera, which adds so much to our artistic community.
Opera is an all-encompassing art form combining theater, music, song, and dance into one glorious experience.
We support St. Pete Opera because of its non-compromise excellence in everything it does, from classic opera to Broadway musicals to cabaret.
St. Petersburg is the city of the arts, and opera is essential. That is why it needs to be supported.
The St. Petersburg Opera is a beautiful jewel in our city. We are so proud of it. And we thank you for helping us to keep it sparkling and strong.
Nothing fills our hearts with such joy or epitomizes the vibrancy and beauty of the St. Petersburg art scene more than the glorious sounds of the operas produced by the St. Petersburg Opera Company, for which everyone should be as grateful as I am.
Great opera, as performed by the St. Petersburg Opera Company, unites soaring vocal and instrumental music with theater, the visual arts, and dance, offering spiritual and aesthetic delights.
The arts bring great value to our community and to the world, and the St. Petersburg Opera Company is an important element of that. I was not much exposed to opera earlier in my life, but Maestro has taught me to love it.
From love and betrayal to despair and delight, St. Petersburg Opera gives a powerful voice to the entire human experience. And it's wonderful.
The arts leads to the vibrancy of the Tampa Bay area, and the St. Petersburg Opera Company leads the way. Cheers.
A great city needs a great professional opera company, and a great opera company needs your support. Please join us. Thank you to our board of directors for that statement. I so appreciate our fabulous board of directors. And what a fantastic performance by Sarah Norden. The stage is hot. And I forgot to introduce the fabulous pianist Teresa Ankaya. She ran off to get a little water, but she is fabulous too, Teresa Ankaya at the piano. And I'm so glad that Jason talked about our wonderful Bella Voce committee, because they've all worked so hard to put this together. And also our staff. We could not have done this without our special projects manager, Chris Green. And our business manager, Eileen Healy. So thank you to everyone who's helping put this Bella Voce together tonight. You know, ticket sales only cover about 40% of our expenses, so we really depend on your contributions and our sponsors to bring you all the wonderful presentations we put on throughout the year. Our Bella Voce sponsors have put together a special presentation for you this evening.
Hi guys, this is Sam from the David Yurman in Tampa. I just want to say how fortunate we are to have the continued support of the St. Pete Opera. We are incredibly humbled to still be in such a beautiful partnership with you guys. Just know that we are still here for you. We are open in the store. We cannot wait to see a fabulous opera season, and we cannot wait to host you guys soon. Bye.
Buonasera, I am Mirella Cimato, and with my husband Norman Smith, we have been supporting the St. Petersburg Opera Company since its conception. I am the curator of the gallery located inside the St. Petersburg Opera building on First Avenue South. The present exhibit, Two Men Part 2, is by two international award winners quilters. Sales benefit the opera, therefore art helps art. The city of St. Petersburg is growing because of art. Opera is an essential part of it, therefore helping the opera is a necessity. Enjoy the show. Buon divertimento.
Percani Data Systems is very proud to support the St. Petersburg Opera Company.
The Opera Company has brought joy and enrichment to all of our lives for 14 years. We thank them so much, and we wish them every success in the future.
Hi, I'm Heidi with DCE Productions. We're a proud partner this year with St. Petersburg Opera and are so thrilled to be part of this year's gala. The St. Petersburg Opera continues to contribute to the arts not only in St. Petersburg, but throughout our beautiful state of Florida. Cheers and congratulations to another great year.
I mean, Maestro, you talk about the opportunity for sponsors to say, you know what, we're just not in this year. It's not going to be an in-person gala. All our sponsors stuck with us, and they said, you know what, whether it's virtual, in person, we support the opera, we're all in.
We are so grateful to have so many wonderful sponsors for Bella Voce and for the season 14 and the productions as well. And those will also be recognized in the closing montage we show tonight.
Yeah, you talk about season 14. The opera's been around for 14 years ago. You were here from the beginning. It's amazing the growth the opera has had and certainly what it stands for now and its place in this community.
It's been a great journey, and I'm honored to have this opportunity to talk to those watching our gala tonight about our mission and why we are here. I know it sounds kind of simple, but SPO is basically here to enrich the lives and enrich our lives and make us stronger and better people. Opera gives us a way to understand ourselves, our history and our music, our literature and our world culture. Help us understand those things in a way that can't be done simply through reading or speaking. Obviously, we want to put on the highest quality opera productions that we can, and that's something we strive to do. It's a grand art form that combines so many different elements. It combines vocal and instrumental music, acting, scenery and costumes, lighting and props, dance, and we have created our own special brand of opera through the years at the Palladium Theater where we perform. It's not your most traditional opera house, but we've really made a name for ourselves creating a unique brand of opera there, and creativity abounds in how we present this art form to the St. Petersburg arts community. But we are so much more than just these magnificent main stage productions we put on. We endeavor all year long to make opera accessible to present and future generations, regardless of age or race or religion or economic status or any label. We want to make the operatic arts accessible and available to everyone. And we do that through community outreach, educational initiatives, and collaborations with other arts organizations. For example, one of our most compelling educational initiatives is our annual Pinocchio production. We go into elementary schools in Pinellas County and we teach them about opera, and then they come here on a field trip to see a 1-hour children's opera, Pinocchio, and for over 90% of them, it is their first time seeing an opera live, or maybe even an opera anywhere, and we're so proud of that. But we don't just go to elementary schools, we go to middle schools, we go to high schools. I do presentations at most of the colleges and universities. We've been to St. Pete College, Hillsborough Community College, University of South Florida, the University of Tampa. We created in our 4th season our evenings and mornings with the Maestro series to give people of any age an opportunity to get excited about opera, to break down any of the maybe so-called snooty barriers one might feel about opera, and to make it up close and personal and accessible, and to really show people that opera is just about real life stories about real people, and it can be so exciting. It can be filled with so much joy and magic. I have to chuckle sometimes, Jason, because sometimes people will say to me, oh, well, are you going on vacation between your main stage operas? And that's usually the time of the year when I'm the busiest and the company's the busiest. So just for an example, we finished Rigoletto on January 28th, and we had a dress rehearsal for our creative collaborations on March 12th. And in between, we did 15 unique different programs all around the Tampa Bay community. We were in churches, we were in temples, we were in schools, we were in colleges, we were at museums. We collaborate with the other arts organizations whenever we can. We are often at the Museum of Fine Arts with our Mornings with the Maestro series. We've been appearing monthly at the Dali Museum on the third Thursday of every month. And I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. At the very end of the show tonight, we have put together a season 14 montage. And I think when you watch that, and it incorporates not just our main stage shows, but many of the other things we did this season before things came to a close. And I think that movie is worth 1,000 words. But I want to close by saying that opera is something that transcends any divisions. It transcends national borders or political ideologies. It is an all-encompassing artistic expression that elevates and challenges us to be our highest creative and intellectual beings that we can be. So I want to ask people tonight to please help me and the staff and the board and our sponsors and patrons. Please help us with your generosity to make your St. Pete Opera Company the best that it can be. And that's why we're here tonight.
No doubt. Maestro, it's so well said, right? Understanding that the opera can't continue to do what it does without people like you all, those of you who are watching here tonight, supporting the opera and understanding its place within the community. So thank you so much for watching, and maybe in advance, if you haven't already, donating later on in the program.
And so for your listening experience now, we are going to present a harmonious trio of 3 voices from the opera Così fan tutte by Mozart. Sarah Norden, mezzo-soprano, will return along with Susie Hellman-Spadafora, soprano, and bass Tyler Putnam, and they will be singing the trio Soave sia il vento from Così fan tutte. In this trio, their characters are wishing a safe passage on the seas to the characters Ferrando and Guglielmo. Tonight, I want to say that the singers are wishing all of us steady breezes and calm seas on this unprecedented journey through these rough times, but we will arrive safely at our destination and victorious.
Folks, I'm telling you, it's almost like being at a live performance right here at Opera Central. And if you haven't been here for one of their shows at Opera Central, I encourage you to do so, or see one of their shows out at the Palladium or other place in the community where you can see the St. Petersburg Opera. Maestro talked about the importance of fundraising, and that's how we go into this next part of the program. It's really to make sure that the opera continues to thrive, that they're able to continue to do these things, not only for your listening enjoyment, but for the betterment of our community, right? The silent auction is the part of the program that we're going to focus on now. And this is the part of the program that is about to end. This is your warning that the silent auction will close in just a few moments. I will count you down to the close of the silent auction. But I want you to know, remember, all bidding is done on your phone. So if you haven't registered to bid, here's one last reminder of how you register to bid. It may be a little bit too late for the silent auction, but for the other bidding and donating opportunities later on in the program, we want to make sure you know that. So it's bellavoce2020.ggo.bid. So that's the web address that you go to. If you haven't registered yet, you still have time to do so. We encourage you to do so. And if there's any technical problems that you're having, don't be afraid to call 727-823-2040, and we will answer any questions that you have. So with the silent auction, though, here's how it's going to work. Because of technology, the words that are coming out of my mouth are reaching people who are watching at a little bit different times, right? So I can't give you an exact countdown, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that it's going to close in about 3 minutes. Eileen Healy is sitting here with us. She's going to start the counter now. It's a 3-minute counter, but it's all approximate. So I encourage you strongly, if you haven't placed your bids, do it now. Don't trust the Wi-Fi or the cell phone signal. Don't trust that the technology and the feed, the live stream to you is getting to you at exactly 3 minutes from when I said it. We're going to hear a bell, and that bell will tell us when the silent auction is closed. During that time, over the next few moments, though, we do want to highlight a few of the items to make sure that we are able to raise the necessary funds for the St. Pete Opera. So the first screen we're going to look at are the items that currently have no bids. So the items, if we want to sell out of our auction, I think there's only 8 or 9 items with no bids. For example, the Andy Warhol book. It's an autographed Andy Warhol book. You can get in on that. That's package number 19. The Puccini fan pack. There's only 7 items that have no bids. So I'm going to encourage you, if you don't have those bids in, now is the time to get those bids in on those last 7 items. And there's a button on your phone that says items with no bids. So don't be afraid to hit that and watch that. I'll also take a few moments to promote some of the most popular items. The people who will be most disappointed with me promoting these most popular items are probably the people who are currently leading and winning these items at this point. But I'm going to tell you there's a few items that are our hottest items that are getting the most bids currently. So we're going to bring those up and we're going to show you what has the hottest items right now. It's the kimono right now, a $450 top bid on that kimono package. The Corinthian watch is at $125. The Paul Nucci custom portrait package just at $400. And we mentioned a second Puccini fan pack. That one is in there as well. So you see all those items on there. You see what the bids are at. We've got a few moments left in our silent auction. So the way it works now, I know it's opera, but this is where I tap dance, right? I tap dance until the end of our silent auction. So I'm watching down here to see how much time we have left. Let's do this one more time. Let's actually pull up the no bid items one more time. So we're going to set up that screen so we can see. We had 7 no bid items a moment ago, and we're going to see how many of those that we have left in order to close out our silent auction. I can probably cheat and look on my phone here too as well. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7. We still have those 7 left. So let's put those up on the screen one more time. We're going to scroll through those so you can take a look at those. If you haven't had a chance to bid yet, folks, and the Andy Warhol book is really a treasure. I've actually seen it. We had it here at one of the committee meetings, and it was awesome to get my hands on those. You have the Swarovski crystal skirt as well. That has no bids on it. And the Puccini fan pack. We've got 2 of those Puccini fan packs in our silent auction. One of them has a bid. The other one doesn't. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, get a bid in on that as well. So what we'll do now is we'll pull up one more time the hot items, right? Those hot items are the items that have the most bids. I'll also tell you as you're looking on your phone here, right? If you want to peek ahead, our live auction is coming up in a few minutes as well. So there's a button that says 1-live auction. So if you're finished bidding in the silent auction, you can start peeking ahead at what those are going to be as well. So we've got a few moments left in this silent auction. We're waiting for that bell to ring. You're going to hear the bell. I've been hearing it all day long as we've been preparing for this. But there you see it again, our hot packages. The frown line treatment is in there. The Corinthian watch, the stainless steel with leather trap is in there. The director's chair from Kiss Me Kate is in there. We have the Tiffany & Company. That's at $525, so get a bid in on that. You see the David Yurman package there? That actually is a live auction package. It's slipped into our silent auction scroll here. But again, that's a package that when you hear about it in a moment in our live auction, that one is not closing right now, but it is coming down to just about the time for our live auction, so that's coming. So we've got those couple of packages there. As I mentioned a moment ago, again, don't wait on me to tell you when the silent auction is closed, because if you set some sort of counter or some sort of clock to tell you when the time is going to be up, you're not going to know if it's exact. We're waiting for the notice here from the mobile bidding platform. The mobile bidding platform, that's it. That's the bell, right? So here's what we got. The silent auction is now closed. If you are bidding on an item, or if you were hoping to win an item, you're going to get a text message before the end of the program that will let you know an update of if you won that item or not, or of course you can go back into those items and check on the silent auction. You will also get communication from the St. Pete Opera over the next couple days letting you know exactly how to pick up your items and to coordinate the transfer of goods, if you will. So as the silent auction is now closed, we will move into the live auction portion of the program. Now, as we said at the beginning of the program, there are no bidder paddles. We're not in person here where we can hold up and see who wants to bid on an item. So instead, all bidding is done on your phone. All three of our live auction items can be found by tapping the three lines in the top left-hand corner of your home screen. From there, you'll see a button that says One Live Auction. And if you click on One Live Auction, you will see our three live auction items. Each one of these will close individually, same sort of way. I will give a countdown, we will hear the bell, we will announce that it's closed, but this will be one at a time as opposed to our silent auction, which of course was all in one lump sum. So, as we go into our first live auction item, it's a package that has become famous at this event year after year, and it is a package called And the Maestro Makes 6. And the reason why it's called the Maestro Makes 6 is because this is a dinner for 5 people, plus the Maestro Makes 6, at his home. And it is going to be a gourmet dinner prepared by a very special chef. And here to tell me about the chef, the experience, the menu, Maestro, welcome back. Tell us about the Maestro Makes 6 package.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jason. So the chef for this event is Chef Michael Roberts. And Michael is my life partner of 26 years. And he is the wind beneath my wings. I wouldn't be up here being able to do what I do if it wasn't for Michael.
Especially because he's about to raise us a lot of money, too, because of this, right?
Well, and I have the benefit of him being an amazing chef. Chef Michael worked in the food and wine business for over 25 years, and he has a particular knack for pairing food and wine together into a great combination for the palate. So this takes place at our home, and you can expect a very creative gourmet menu of multiple courses, usually 5 or 6 courses.
5 or 6 courses, and when they talk about wine pairings, that's a lot of great wine coming with those courses, right?
Usually you will have a champagne and a white wine and 2 reds and a dessert wine. Sometimes if it's 6 courses, then it might be a champagne, 2 white wines, 2 red wines, and a dessert wine.
And I also have a feeling the higher the bid, the finer the wine might get too.
That may be true.
Possible, right? So here's what we've got. We're going to talk about this package for the next few moments, but we also have the great opportunity, just like as if we were in a live auction, to see who has bid on this package and who is our current leading bidder. So if we can put that up on the screen, you can see right now, Eileen, you basically said, I want to start with the Maestro, right? She started off the bidding. Barbara Smith got in, and Gail Bertelstein got in. Then Lynn Schrum got in at $550, and Gail came back at $650. So right now, this dinner is at $650. It is for 5 people. If you haven't already thought about this, please consider having a couple of couples go in on it together and all going to be with the Maestro and Chef Michael for what amounts to an amazing menu. What are some of his favorite things to prepare?
Oh my gosh, rack of lamb, beef tenderloin, seafood risotto, quinoa stuffed red peppers, tuna tartare, shrimp Veracruz, which is a Chef Michael original, or depending on the season, you might get a seasonal favorite like butternut apple soup with Stilton crouton.
You guys eat like this at home all the time?
Yes.
This is a regular menu,
Yes.
right? Right.
All the time.
We are watching the
Every
screen,
night.
folks. Remember, all the bidding is done on your phone. So when you are in that item on your bidding device, there is an opportunity that will say the next bid, and the next bid on this item is $750. So there are 5 people going to this dinner. So right now we're looking for about $150 a person to have the dinner of the year, right? So we're going to keep watching and see as this grows. Right now, Gail is still our top bidder. The way it's going to work is in a moment I'm going to give the countdown and we will start counting it down. But Gail is in at $650. Any more plugs before we start wrapping up the live auction item?
It's an amazing night. I mean, I think the cooking is amazing. The wines are amazing.
And a year ago, Lee, your board chair.
He was, well, we sold 3 of these last year. Okay. Bella Voce last year, when this went up on the live auction, it went for $3,200. Yes, and also I've been doing, I love to garden, but you'll get a tour of the gardens at our house as well. Yeah,
I love it.
Beautiful gardens. Maybe we'll even have, depending on the weather, maybe we'll even have the first course outside on the back deck.
Al fresco style, why not,
perhaps,
right?
And then move inside for the rest of the meal.
The options are endless. So here's what we're going to do. Right now the bid is at $650. A $750 bid gets this, or at least takes the lead. Here's how it's going to work. In a moment, I'm going to say there are 30 seconds left in this auction item. When I give that 30-second notice, which I haven't yet, Eileen is going to start the counter. Again, it won't be an exact number.
It went up.
But please understand that when it closes, the bell will ring and we will know it's closed. So
there's like a little delay because on the phone it's going up. Oh, okay, yeah.
We're very aware of the delay.
I know.
It
makes it tricky. It makes your job tricky,
So we
right?
have a new bidder that just came in. So congratulations. Anita is now our top bidder at $750. So the question is Gail going to get in now and see if she can come back and outbid Anita, or Lynn, who is one of our earlier bidders, at $550. We need you to get in at $850. We're putting a 30-second countdown on this auction item right now. Understand that it's not an exact 30 seconds. There is a delay. Some people are getting it much quicker than others, so I wouldn't wait to see if it's an actual 30 seconds. If you want to get the bid in, now's the time to do it. So we got a $750 bid coming in right now. Gail has come back at $850. We got to see if we can get this over $1,000. So Anita, let's see if we can get you to come back one time. I need a $950 bid. We're going to keep refreshing that and seeing who our top bidder is. So Gail's in at $850. Anita, we got to see if you want to come back one more time. Do you want in before we close it out? When that bell rings, we are going to announce who our winner is. We are a few moments away from seeing who the winner of this live auction is. Is it Anita? Is it Gail? Is it Lynn? Is it somebody else who slides in under the radar? Who's going to get there one time? We got an $850 bid right now. We need $950 to keep it going. Anybody in at $950 before we close it out? Looking one time, waiting for the bell to ring. We're at $850. Is that going to be our top bidder? I got hands up in the air telling me that it's just about to close. So I'm waiting to hear the bell. As soon as we hear it, we'll refresh one more time and see who our winning bidder is. Is it Gail? Is it Anita? Is it Lynn? The bell's ringing. Let's go ahead and refresh one more time and confirm who our winning bidder is. There we've got it. Gail Burt. Let me do the best I can here. Bettelstein at $850. Thank you from the St. Pete Opera. That is going to be an awesome dinner. And Maestro and Chef Michael, thank you so much for your contribution to this live auction. Now, as we move into our next live auction item, this is a package that comes to us courtesy of David Yurman and the David Yurman store in Tampa. And what they have agreed to do is donate a beautiful bracelet to our live auction. It is an 18-karat gold buckle with diamonds and rubies. And you see it up there on the screen. It has a value of more than $6,000. Call it $6,400. But I will also tell you that this package is not just about, hey, here's a beautiful piece of jewelry. The David Yurman store has said, here's what we'll do. We're going to welcome you into our store. You can schedule it as you so desire. If you want it after hours, so it's a private cocktail reception, you can have it that way. If you want it during business hours, so you can be part of the hustle and bustle, you can do that also. They're going to show you everything and anything in the store that you want to take a peek at. They've got some custom pieces. They've got some pieces that don't always see the light of day, and you're going to get a chance to see the full wares that the David Yurman store has for you. They will have cocktails and maybe some champagne and some light bites, some appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. And I think as much as anything, as we look at the screen here, before I throw in the little surprise that we may have for you, I will tell you that we currently have 2 bidders on this item. Understanding that it's a $6,400 bracelet with the cocktail reception for 10 people, we understand that this isn't something that you might want to go out for right now, but you got plenty of time to use this, right? Right now, Paul Woods got in early in the bidding. Barbara Smith came in at $2,800. We only have 2 bidders on that right now. I'm going to tell you about the surprise edition, and then we're going to put the 30-second counter on this, because what Liz at the David Yurman store shared with me is that David Yurman cares so much not only about his stores but also about community endeavors like the St. Pete Opera. He said that if you can schedule it on a mutually agreeable time where he is available, he is going to call the store while you are there and thank you for supporting the opera, for supporting David Yurman. So now is the time to understand. The call from David Yurman while you're at the store on a mutually agreeable date if it fits in his schedule. We also know that it comes with a private in-store cocktail reception with food and drinks for you and 9 others, and the 18-karat gold buckle with diamonds and rubies. We're going to put a 30-second counter on this right now. I tell you one more time that it's not about the 30 seconds. I'll remind you over and over, it's not about the 30 seconds. It's about 30 seconds. So if you want to bid, you get on your phone, you get to that item. We're going to take a look here to make sure I see it on the phone. There it is in your live auction. The bid currently at $2,800. It is a $6,400 bracelet. Barbara Smith is still our leader at $2,800. She outbid Paul and Jacob, who got in together at $2,000. We're going to see who ends up winning this item. As soon as that bell rings, we will have our final winner. We're going to see who it comes down to. Is it going to be Paul, Jacob, or Barbara, or is someone going to slide in right before? It is a gorgeous piece with the diamonds and the rubies, the 18-karat gold. I'm telling you, this bracelet is exactly what David Yurman does. It's a signature piece for David Yurman. So the cocktail reception, the bracelet, the potential call from David Yurman while you are there. We still have Barbara at $2,800. We're going to see if anybody else wants to get in before we wrap this one up. We're going to wait and hear that bell. The bell has rung. Let's refresh one more time to make sure that it hasn't changed. We're going to look at the screen and we're going to see that, yes, Barbara Smith has won this item at $2,800. Thank you from the St. Pete Opera. Now, we move on to the next live auction item. This auction item is our African Safari. It is from Zulu Nyala Private Preserve. Now, what we're about to show you is a quick little video from Zulu Nyala, because as much as I can tell you about it, I believe hearing it from them will make you understand what makes this package so special. Take a listen.
There is a little bit of magic in all of us, a place of instinct that responds to the natural rhythms of life. And there are some places in the world where that magic is felt more strongly. Such a place is Zulu Nyala. Come to Zulu Nyala and experience the magic of Africa.
Tell you, if these packages, these pictures don't make you think to yourself, this is my bucket list trip, here's what you're going to get to do. It's a 7-day, 6-night African photo safari for 2. You're going to get a chance to choose where you want to stay in their private game lodge, their heritage safari lodge, or their Hemingway tent camp. Please understand that all options are air conditioned with ceiling fans, and they have internet access and swimming pools and restaurants. You're not exactly roughing it out there, right? But it is truly an amazing property. 4,500 acres at Zulu Nyala. It comes with 2 daily game drives. So you'll be going out on their 4,500 acre preserve in their open air Land Rovers with English speaking guides. You are going to have all your meals included. So you continue to look at these pictures up here on the screen, and you not only see the accommodations, you'll see some of the food that you'll be eating while you're there, and as important as anything, you will see the animals that you will be interacting with while at Zulu Nyala. And I think as important as anything with this package, it doesn't expire for not 1 year like most auction packages, not 2 years like some people are stretching it to, but Zulu Nyala has extended this offer for 3 years for St. Pete Opera auction winners. So I'll say it one more time, 7 days, 6 nights at Zulu Nyala Private Preserve in South Africa. I'll tell you it includes all your accommodations. It includes all your meals. I'll tell you it includes 2 daily game drives, typically at dawn and dusk, the best time to see the animals. and it doesn't expire for 3 years. So we have had a fever of bidding on this item already today. If we can put up some of the bids now, you can look up on your screen and you can see that the bidding opened at $500. It got to $1,500 and $1,750. So Ellen San Pierre was in, Dorothy and Sal Perconti were in. The Maestro was in for a little while. Muriel was in at $4,000. Then Muriel was outbid by Kent and Joan Ulrich at $4,250. And then Muriel has just become my favorite bidder ever in an auction format, right? Muriel has outbid herself, understanding that it not only supports the St. Pete Opera, but it's gonna get her a chance to go to South Africa. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna put a 30-second counter on this item. We're gonna see if anybody wants to get in on this. So the 30-second counter can start right now. And what I'm gonna ask you to do, if you can give me a 10-second warning when we get down to 10, please. A real 10, right? So here's how it works. You continue to look at those pictures there. We're going to keep refreshing this screen right here. Muriel is still our top bidder at $5,000. This is a $6,000 package. So understand that now is the time, if you want to go to South Africa and you've ever thought about it, you're going to have 3 years to use it, plenty of time to go. I'm going to watch that screen one more time, and Kent and Joan, you are looking, are you going to come back in? We need a 5250 bidder to go to South Africa. Are you gonna squeeze in right as Muriel thinks she's going to South Africa? Who's gonna end up going? We're gonna watch the screen one more time. Let's put those, actually, you know what? Let's leave this. I take that back. That was a poor call on my part. Let's leave that because I want them to keep seeing those pictures of what Zulu Nyala is like. So as we continue to watch the bids come in, so we have 10 seconds left. So I'm gonna have you not ring the bell. Don't ring the bell for me at all, right? We're gonna put a halt on this auction item, which is fine. Here's what I want you to do. Can we put that bidding screen up for our guest, please? Here's what I'd like to do, right? We've got Kent and Joan, they bid $4,250. Muriel, she bid $4,500. What I have been given the option to do from our friends at Zulu Nyala is to set the bid at a flat price. So I'm gonna save Muriel $250. And Muriel, if you're at home, just follow with me because you're gonna win this package for $4,250, right? What that means is that Kent and Joan, you are also gonna win this package for $4,250. And I think what's as important for anyone is that we're gonna open this up to anyone else who wants to buy this at $4,250. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure Eileen understands that if you can make sure that Muriel and Kent and Joan all have this package added to their winning biddings this evening, they're gonna pay $4,250 for it. Anyone else who also wants to go to South Africa, you can buy this package for $4,250. If you're on your phone, let's go ahead and bring the camera shot back to me here so I can make sure that people understand how to do this. If you go back into your live auction items where you're probably reading about this item, and you click on the Zulu Nyala African Safari, if you give it a moment, it's going to have a buy it now price at $4,250. So if you want to get in on a package that has a retail value of $6,000 and not only take that bucket list trip, that bucket list experience of going to Africa, but also supporting the St. Pete Opera, now is going to be your chance to do that. So, as I mentioned, we had our two winning bidders. Joan and Kent are getting it for $4,250. Muriel is also getting it for $4,250. And now we are seeing who else wants to get in. I will tell you what I'm going to be able to do is we are going to keep this item open for a little while to make sure that anyone who wants to buy it has a chance. So if you're at home thinking about it and you're saying, you know what, I'm not sure if we want to go, I need to make a quick call, make that quick call because that buy it now option is going to be up there for the rest of the program and throughout the evening. So, we'll put this in one more time. So it's showing as closed. Is there a way to get that with the buy it now? We're going to work on that. All right, so here's what we're going to do, folks. Understand, and I'll say it one more time to Muriel, Kent, and Joan, you are each getting this package at $4,250. For the rest of you, take some time, in a moment, refresh your phones, look at that African Safari package one more time, and if you want it at $4,250, all you do is tap that button, and you are also getting this package. But as much as anything, even before anyone else buys this, the sell price on this package in support of the St. Pete Opera is $8,500. How about that, right? How about that? That is tremendous. So as we go into the next part of our program, This part's called the bid from the heart. And as we go into the bid from the heart, I actually peripherally was checking my phone one more time, and I'm showing you that the buy it now option is there on your phone. So if you want to go on the African Safari for $42.50, now's the time to do so. But as we go into the bid from the heart, this is the part of the program where we're going to ask you to bid from the bottom of your heart. And you're not going to get a trip to Africa. You're not going to get a piece of jewelry. You're going to get the feeling of knowing that you gave from the bottom of your heart directly to our mission. But it's not for me to tell you about our mission. It's for someone to tell you about it who has been touched by it for more than a decade. She first came to the opera and discovered the opera when she was just 12 years old. And now she's a long-time performer with the St. Pete Opera who has opera in her soul. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Bailey McQueen.
Good evening, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here in spirit with all of you tonight. Speaking of pleasure, I have had the pleasure of performing in numerous St. Pete Opera productions, such as The Music Man, Merry Widow, and most recently, our newest holiday production, Holiday Sparkle. However, St. Pete Opera was on my radar long before I stepped on the historic Palladium stage. I first met Maestro Sforzini at a summer camp called Pro Theater Prep. This was a musical theater camp for middle to high school age students, and the Maestro was a guest instructor there. Now, I would come back every summer, and the Maestro would always remember me, but he didn't remember my name. In fact, what he'd say when I walked in the room was, "Oh, I remember you!" But I don't remember your name. In fact, that is what he said at my first audition for St. Pete Opera when I was 19 years old. I was still doing the musical theater thing and studying at the University of Tampa, and one of the regulars in the seasonal Sparkle chorus got me an audition for the Maestro. And when I walked through those doors, I was happy to see that he still remembered me. In fact, he said, "Oh, I remember you, but I don't remember your name." Despite my love of musical theater, I've always had a foot in the opera world. My favorite musical of all time is actually an operetta, or poperetta, rather, The Phantom of the Opera. My St. Pete Opera story actually mirrors that of Phantom's heroine, Christine Daae. Much like Christine, I started out in the chorus of a St. Pete Opera show, Seasonal Sparkle, and I worked my way up to playing small roles such as Mrs. Squires in The Music Man and Sylvienne in Merry Widow. Eventually, I became a featured soloist in our newest holiday show, Holiday Sparkle. I felt like Christine Daae stepping out of the chorus for her big solo in Phantom of the Opera. And I really can't thank St. Pete Opera enough for not only allowing me to live my childhood fantasies, but also opening my eyes to a world of new possibilities. St. Pete Opera ignited a love in opera for me as an art form that I had no idea was there. In fact, after doing a couple shows with St. Pete Opera, I started taking opera workshop at my college, learning new arias. I was impressing all the voice teachers at my juries. While most of the musical theater students would sing an art song and they never memorized the words, I would always learn not one, but two or maybe even 3 foreign language pieces for my juries, because why not? It was so much fun. It was different and it was new to me. If you had asked me in high school if I ever thought that I would be playing a named part in Carmen or performing in Puccini's Madama Butterfly, I would have laughed. Now I can't imagine my life without opera in it, and I can't thank St. Pete Opera enough for giving me that gift. Going on 4 years and many productions later, I'm proud to say Maestro Sforzini finally remembers my name, and our friendship has evolved from that of student and teacher to colleagues and even Facebook friends. Although the 12-year-old inside me will probably never be comfortable calling him by his first name. Still, I have a lot to learn from both Maestro Sforzini and his opera company, and I look forward to continuing to grow with them as the years continue on. I want to thank all of you for giving me these opportunities. It is thanks to artists and opera fans alike, such as yourselves, that I have been able to perform in so many outstanding productions and learn at the feet of the masters. I really cannot thank you enough. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It has been an honor to speak with you tonight. And before I go, most importantly, I love you, Maestro.
That is a fitting tribute, not only to the opera, but certainly to you as well. Bailey's pretty special.
Thank you, Bailey, for that wonderful testimonial. You know, it's true, I met Bailey first when she was 12 years old, and it's been wonderful watching her grow up and develop into the mature artist she is today.
You know, we could have picked hundreds of different people to feature who have been impacted by the opera for many, many years, 14 since the opera first came along, but Bailey certainly shares her story eloquently as much as anybody. As we move on throughout the program, it's time for another little entertainment interstitial, but at the same time, this entertainment piece has a really important message for our audience.
Well, I'm very excited about this because this is the debut of this entertainment piece. There's a famous aria from Turandot called Nessun Dorma. It means no one sleeps tonight. And the reason no one sleeps tonight is because Princess Turandot has her entire kingdom up trying to find out the real identity of Prince Khalaf. If she can learn Prince Khalaf's identity by morning, then she will have him executed. If she cannot, then Prince Khalaf will win her hand in marriage. Oh, the wonderful, wacky world of opera plots. But this is a gorgeous, compelling, passionate aria, and it ends with the phrase, "VINCERò, VINCERò," which became our theme for this year's Bella Voce, translates, "I shall win, I will be victorious." We've taken it as our rallying cry that we will win, that arts organizations and artists will survive this tough time and be victorious in the end. So I reached out to many, many tenors that have worked with St. Petersburg Opera over the past several years, and this presentation of Nessun Dorma is a coming together of the power and passion and artistry of these tenors from their homes during social distancing to create a powerful team, 21 tenor. That's right, you've heard of the 3 tenors, and maybe you've heard of the 10 tenors. But tonight, we present the 21 tenors singing Puccini's Nessun Dorma.
Pure
How about that, right? 21 tenors all performing in harmony, all 20 of them at one point or another performing with the St. Petersburg Opera, and certainly talent abounds. And they closed that Nessun Dorma with what? VINCERò. And what is that? It is we will be victorious. And how will we define what being victorious is? Part of this gala, part of the success of this gala is based on our bid from the heart. Because in the bid from the heart, we're going to ask for straight out donations. We're going to ask for those who want to bid from the bottom of their heart to help support that mission that Bailey talked about. That mission that those 21 tenors for years have helped promote in this community. And that mission that the Maestro talked so eloquently about earlier on this evening as well. So here's how the bid from the heart works. Once again, this is your bidder paddle. If you haven't done so already, please be at bellavoce2020.ggo.bid. If you've already registered, you're good. Just tap on your link. If you want to make a donation and didn't register for any reason, feel free to call into that number, 727-823-2040. But here's how it's going to work. On just about every screen, you have a red button, a big red button that says, please donate, keep the music going. For this Bid from the Heart part of the program, I need you to tap on that button. And then I'm going to call out some donation amounts. When I call out the donation amount that you're willing to make that contribution, that donation, you tap that donate button. We will get alerted here, and we will thank you for your contribution. Our first request tonight in the Bid from the Heart is at $15,000. When we get donations during the Bid from the Heart, Eileen's going to ring that bell, and the studio audience, which I tell you is about 9 deep, is going to go absolutely crazy. But at $15,000, you're going to help sponsor or co-sponsor or help put on a main stage production. They can cost up to $200,000 to put on. So at $15,000, you can help support the St. Pete Opera at that donation level. Ticket revenue alone doesn't come anywhere near helping offset the cost of these shows. How about at $10,000? At $10,000, you can help with the costumes for a main stage show. That's just one of the elements that go into that bigger number that I talked about before. Is there a $10,000 donor who can pull out their phones and tap on that $10,000 button? Anyone at $10,000? All right. So we had someone call in with a $10,000 anonymous donation. The good news is the folks here at the Opera know who they are. They're not anonymous to them, but they wanted to remain anonymous for the donation portion of this program. But our thermometer there is now $10,000 more full. Is there anyone else at $10,000? Anyone else hit that button at $10,000 and make that different? Help fund something like the costumes. But understand that so much of this can be applied to so many different levels. Anyone else at $10,000? We're going to keep looking at the screen there, listening for that bell. Our next level is the $5,000 level. At the $5,000 level, we talked about that Maestro event series. You could help sponsor those types of series. It's become a stepping stone for fans all throughout our community, where the Maestro has been able to introduce them to the opera and show them Opera Central and the Palladium and every place that we go to play. Are there any donors at $5,000? We're going to wait and see if the bell rings, if the thermometer moves. As the names scroll across the bottom of the screen, some have snuck in a little bit early with their donation levels, and we appreciate every dollar that comes in. Anyone at $5,000? Where are my donors at $2,500? At 20, we got a 5,000. Hold on. I love it. Listen, there is no one who wants to be interrupted more than me when it comes to something like that. So interrupt away. Who's our 5 come from? Dee and Sal Percante, our chairs of this event, our board members, Saul and Dee, our sponsors. Thank you for supporting the St. Pete Opera to the tune of $5,000. That is awesome. You see those names scroll down there at the bottom. We're about to see Dorothy and Saul Percante at $5,000. Thank you so much. Anyone else at 5? What I will tell you is, there's a lot of events that many of us probably go to, and they see people get up and they say, I'll give 5 if someone else will give 5, or if someone will match my 5. Well, Dee and Saul didn't do that. They gave 5 because they believe in this mission. Who will follow their lead? We're going to see if there's any more $5,000 donors ready to come in. Who's going to tap that button and give us a $5,000 contribution? Anyone else at 5? We'll move on to the next level again at $2,500. At the $2,500 level, we're able to bring that Maestro Series event out into the community. We talked about how do we put on a Maestro Series event. It costs about $5,000. How do we bring it out into the community? We need $2,500 donors to help us with that. So who's in at $2,500 for the St. Pete Opera? Who's got their finger on their phone ready to hit that $2,500 button so we can see the name scroll on the screen? Anyone at $2,500? We're going to keep looking and waiting. Anyone at $2,500? Oh, we got another one that came in, all right? Well, Helen, Eileen, before you even tell me who it is, my favorite part about this is that I understand the applause are for the money, the funds that have come in, the $2,500, but we're going to applaud after we hear who it's from. They're the ones who get the round of applause, right? Who is this from? Edward and Elaine Hudson Family Foundation. Now we give that round of applause. At $2,500, thank you so much to the Hudson Family Foundation at $2,500. Anyone else at $2,500? Folks, we know those of you who tuned in tonight believe in this mission, understand why the opera is so important. Who can help us continue to raise those funds? We've been through our $10,000 ask and our $5,000 ask. We got one at each level. We got another one at $2,500. Anyone else at $2,500? We want to see those numbers tick away on that thermometer. Our next level is the $1,000 donation. At $1,000, you can directly bring opera to kids in our community. 100 young people can see Pinocchio for free. The opera can be shown to young people. Those of you who are watching who know and love the opera know how impactful it can be and how important the fine arts are. Are there $1,000 donors watching who can make that contribution and support the opera now? As I mentioned, all the bidding, all the donating is done on your phone. There's a button that says 1,000. After you hit it, it says donate 1,000, and all you have to do is hit the blue donate button, and you are in at 1,000. Anybody else at $1,000 before we move on? So far, we've raised $17,610. It's awesome. It's amazing the work that you all are doing who are watching. Anyone at $1,000 before we move on? Oh, we got another one coming in. Paul Nucci and Nora Everlove at $1,000. How about that? Folks, understand that some of the donations that Eileen is getting over here, they're going into our thermometer, but their names aren't necessarily scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to make sure that we recognize them as often as possible. We had Sal and Dee Perconti at $5,000. We had the Edward and Elaine Hudson Family Foundation at $2,500. We had Paul Nucci and Nora Everlove in at $1,000. Those are people who are reaching deep because they know the importance of this organization. Anyone else at $1,000 before we move on? Where are my donors at $500? At $500, every single dollar, whether it's at $5,000 or $500, can make a difference, can impact those who love the opera and need it. I heard a little ding. False alarm on that ding. Every dollar supports the community, the artist, and the company. At $500, you have to understand that non-for-profits survive or thrive based on the generosity of those like you who are watching. So who can donate $500? Who can pull out that phone and make sure we give you that recognition of that thanks at $500? We got a $750 donation from? Samuel Memberg at $750. How about that, right? And I love Samuel. Samuel was like, listen, you're not going to save my number. I'm giving it anyway, right? So no matter what the dollar amount you want to give, please, now's the time. Pull out that donation button. We got Peter Schultz. He just showed up on the screen right there. So thank you to that one. We're at $19,210. We called for the $500 donors. How about the $250 donors? Peter Schultz and Alexandra Bolton Schultz also gave $500. We want to thank them for that donation. That's right. Keep those applause going. Now, if you want to give $250, give the $250 number. From? Warren Jaworski at $250. Thank you. Who else at $250? Folks, those of you who couldn't come to the gala this evening because we couldn't meet in person, you saved and put that money in your pocket. Understand that that money needs, and the opera needs those funds to continue being successful and thriving in this community. Who else at $250 who can help us shoot that over? We got another one. Linda and Robert Puglisi, thank you so much for your donation here this evening. Who else? We're now over $20,000, right? How about at the $100 level? And at this point, the $100 level, while we talked about every dollar helps, whether you want to give $40 or $40,000, now's the time to pull out your phone and hit that donation button. There are buttons there from $10,000 down to a $100, but right underneath it, it says custom amount. Whatever amount you want to give, now's the time to do so. Is that Darlene Davis that I just missed? Darlene Davis, thank you. Chris Green, thank you for your donation, for supporting the cause, putting your money where your so-called mouth is. Thank you. Keep that bell ringing. I love it. Tom Schneider and Wanda Kilgore Schneider at $500. How about that, right? We'll keep it going. I love it. We're at $21,310. And Robert and Roxana Fall for how much? $100. Thank you so much for your donation. Paul Woods and Jacob Jimerson gave $100. Thank you for that one right there. Lloyd Goldstein at $100. Thank you. We'll keep them coming in. We're at $21,510. And we also know that there were people who made donations today even before our program started. There was an opportunity on our website to give that way. So however you're able to give, thank you for supporting the opera. But I think what's as important as anything, as we look up there at that screen right now and understand that in tonight's Bid from the Heart, we were able to raise from generous donors watching this program here tonight, $21,510. That is awesome. That is an amazing accomplishment for the opera. I will tell you, as we get ready to move on into our program, we still have lots more great entertainment for you. And as part of this entertainment, I teased you earlier in the night by talking about the world champion who is going to perform. That's coming up next. I'm going to introduce our world champion in just a moment. I do want to make sure that everyone knows that that Africa package that we talked about earlier, we sold in the live auction, it is now available on that item. So if you go to the live auction Africa package, it's at $4,250. You can go to Africa. We have already sold one extra trip in addition to the people who won in the live auction. We had one other group buy it at $4,250. We can get others who want to win that at $4,250 as well just by hitting that button. We also had Gloria Matisik and Dick Caldwell. They called in and they wanted the Maestro dinner also. They got their bid in and they agreed to match the winning bid that we already sold it for. So we sold 2 of the dinners with the Maestro. Thank you to Gloria and Dick. How about a round of applause for them as live auction winners as well. Now, our world champion is getting ready to perform. He is right down on the floor in front of me, stretching, getting ready. He has traveled many, many, many feet to get to where he is standing right now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at one point of his life, he was the world hula hoop champion back in 1979. But I tell you that it's one of those titles that doesn't just go away. You're never a former world hula hoop champion. You're always a world hula hoop champion. For those of you who have never seen this side of this man, you are about to be wowed and amazed. You thought he was musically talented, artistically talented. Wait until you see him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the world hula hoop champion, Maestro Mark Sforzini. Woohoo! That was absolutely amazing. Folks, we're not going to make the Maestro try to speak after that because he worked awful hard for that. But I will tell you, there are so many different layers of this gentleman right here, and that is just one of them. Now, Maestro, I want you to stand by because we have a tremendous announcement to make right before we introduce our final number, our headline performance, if you will. Because what I can tell you, and I love that they just sent me a different update, that's tremendous. What I can tell you, a little bit of housekeeping. Once again, if you won an item in our silent or live auction tonight, you will get some information from the opera emailed to you to make sure you know exactly how to pick it up, where and when, and we will take care of all that. But as important as anything, what we did tonight is when this committee, led by Dee Perconti, when she went out there and they got together and said, what are we going to do? We can't get together in person. What are we going to do? And they said, we're going to go virtual. They brought in DC Productions. They said, we're going to make this happen. And here's what we did. In this gala that some people canceled in their community, this gala said we're going to have it. Bella Voce 2020 was going to happen. VINCERò, we will be victorious. And here's what victorious looks like. If I were to sit here and tell you we raised $40,000, you'd be like, that's pretty good. If I were to tell you we raised $50,000, you'd be like, okay, now we're starting to talk. If I were to tell you we raised $60,000, you'd be starting to get a little happy. What if I told you we raised more than $70,000 and more than $80,000? And if I wait longer, the texts keep coming in, updating me with numbers, so I have a feeling it's going to change more and more because the donations continue to come in. We raised more than $85,000. What we did tonight at Bella Voce 2020, you talk about being victorious, is we raised $86,842. That is truly amazing. VINCERò. I love it, love it, love it. But I will tell you that this is about an entertainment company, an opera company, so we must leave you with our headline performers. And when I call them our headline performers, I do it with an understanding that what we've done over the next few moments as we close our show is we've given you all of the performers from the past year, season 14 here with the St. Pete Opera. We have titled this, The Things We Do for Love. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason Alpert. I have loved being your MC and your auctioneer tonight. Maestro, thank you for having me. Thanks for all you do. Folks, stay safe out there, and please, as we wrap up our program, enjoy The Things We Do for Love. Good night, everybody.
Just now, wish for a little boy to be your very own son?
Well, yes.
Well then, your wish has come true.
counted, filling the darkness with order and light. You are the sentinels, silent and sure, keeping watch in the night.
Say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria.
Addio speranza e anima,
Addio, speranza e anima.
solo tu sarai, solo tu sarai. Se l'amante che vesti la riceve altrove, mia figlia, sua figlia, è sempre misero chi lei s'affida, chi le confida, malga o col cuore, pur mai non sentasi felice appieno a chi su quel seno non li valore. La donna è nobile, qual più mal vento, muta da cielo. Pensier